This is my quick overview of how I did my Taylor Swift with a torn off face makeup. So if you're curious about how it's made but you don't actually want to do it, then this is for you. I wanted to push myself this Halloween to make bigger looks using more advanced and professional techniques to get the most realistic, practical, movable makeup. For the molding process, I followed a Brick in the Yard 3-part tutorial, which I will link here. To make the first half of the mold, I needed an altered resin core, so I used clay to flare out the edges of my live cast and add keys so that each side would fit back together perfectly. Then I made walls and I poured a few layers of silicone over the face cast and then a thickened resin for the shell. Once the plaster head and all the clay from inside the silicone was removed, I poured a rigid polyurethane resin in, and then voila, one half of my mold is complete. The mold to make this resin core also came in super handy to make the silicone missing face flat and also to help with my sculpting. I realized I could release the silicone negative, then pour more silicone into it, put in my resin face core with a couple of tools on either side so that it doesn't fully touch the other side of the mold. Then I'd have a silicone face that fits perfectly on top of my real face. Then I used the same technique but using molten Chavant NSP medium clay, which transfers a perfect replica of my face in clay onto that resin core. I then smoothed down the edges and I carved out the missing part of the face and then carved away any excess clay to make it as light as possible when it's a finished silicone prosthetic. I added in individual resin teeth and a gum line. I also added in the muscle fibers around the eyes and down the face. I smoothed everything down and out more. As a last step, I decided to add in some veins and a little bit of light texturing over the clay skin. Now this is to make the other side of our mold. I added flashing around the sculpt, I added in pry points, added a wall, sprayed crystal clear and a bunch of polyurethane release spray, and then I poured a first layer of that same rigid polyurethane resin, and then every layer afterwards it was thickened with polyfiber and I added a filler as well to make it a bit stronger. I pried open the mold and cleaned out the clay from both sides. I released this quite heavily and then airbrushed a few layers of cat plastic on each side, poured in my deadened and tinted silicone, and then clamped it together again to try and get the thinnest edges. I pried open the mold and then removed our encapsulated silicone with the aid of a brush and some baby powder. Then I cut the silicone face to match that missing part in the prosthetic, and I also cut open the eyelids, the mouth, and cut the nostrils out. I painted the face using a thinned tinted silicone in vein blue. I let that cure fully and then I went in with a pink blush colour. Then I also went into the back and the cut off sides with a muscle pink silicone, letting that fully cure and then putting a blood red silicone over. I fixed up the front afterwards by removing any excess silicone or adding little details back in. Then I added in some individual lashes into the eyelid and I hair punched in a brow. To finish off the prosthetic, I added the resin teeth back in and also a section of the lip. I also painted that with thin silicone in a muscle pink colour first, letting that cure, then adding a fatty yellow colour, letting that cure, and then finally a blood red colour and letting that cure. I then did the lips again with a vein blue, and I decided to add some of that vein blue over the veins in the face to make them pop out a little bit more. And then I finished off the lips with a light blush pink colour. I cut off most of the flashing and I applied adhesive to my face and to the back of the prosthetic. I sucked that down and then dissolved the cat plastic edges and repaired some of the thicker edges with Poseide and thickened Poseide cream. I painted my eyelids with cream makeup. I added a black tooth enamel to my real upper teeth so that they couldn't be seen behind the prosthetic teeth. And then I colour matched the skin of the prosthetic to match my skin using alcohol activated paints. I cleaned any excess alcohol activated paint off the silicone and then added the beauty makeup side, so I used a foundation, eyebrow pencil, a matte bronzer, eyeshadows, eyeliner, mascara and false lashes. I also added the eyeshadow and the false lashes to the detached side of the face so that it would match. Then I added my fake blood and I cleaned most of it off again so there would just be remnants and traces of it with most of the prosthetic still visible. Then I put on my Taylor Swift Bad Blood costume. I like the aesthetics of the music video and I'm also a similar age, similar height, similar build, and have a similar haircut to Taylor Swift. And you know, it won Music Video of the Year, so I thought, hey, like I'll combine that with my favorite thing, which is gory, scary ass shit. and basically the costume's a studded bra, a studded faux leather bolero, high-waisted black shorts, and black cut-off gloves. I also took my hair out and I curled that a little bit. I will be posting more detailed videos on how I did this look when I am back from Sydney IMATS, and I'll try to get up my face mask video here soon. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, it would be really awesome if you subscribed, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!